That Torisi takes care of his family and his affairs.
Mafia: The Old Country is an upcoming third-person, narrative-driven action-adventure developed by Hangar 13 and published by 2K. The game serves as a prequel to the original Mafia trilogy, exploring the origins of organized crime in early 1900s, Sicily, specifically the fictional town of San Celeste, and follows Enzo Favara, an indentured laborer who joins the Torisi crime family to escape his fate in the sulfur mines. Gameplay features include a blend of stealth takedowns, cover-based shootouts, horseback and vintage motorcar traversal, and knife combat, reflecting period-correct weapons like the Lupara shotgun and early 1900s firearms, alongside environmental storytelling and varied mission styles. Mafia 3. Early previews describe the game as returning to the franchise's strengths: tight pacing, compelling storytelling, and period authenticity.
Out there, you're my eyes and ears, Enzo. What you see, what you hear, it belongs to me. Never forget that. Our enemies lie in wait, like vipers in the grass. We must strike first, quietly and without hesitation. If someone were stupid enough to put his hand in my pocket, it would be up to you to return what is mine. And remember, what you give to this family, you shall receive back in kind. Welcome, Enzo.
Colonel, tighten the security on this place. He's coming here, I'm sure of it.
Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater is a next-gen remake of the 2004 classic Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, developed by Konami Digital Entertainment with support from Virtuos and powered by Unreal Engine 5. This remake allows choice between two camera and control schemes: Legacy Style, which faithfully recreates the original top-down view, and New Style, an over-the-shoulder third-person perspective optimized for modern audiences. The core narrative and mission structure remain unchanged. You control Naked Snake, a Fox operative on a covert mission in 1964 Soviet jungle to rescue rocket scientist Nikolai Sokolov, disable the nuclear superweapon Shagohod, and confront the boss, his former mentor turned traitor during the Cold War. The game delivers massive upgrades, with highly detailed environments, dynamic lighting, realistic character models, and permanent battle wounds and scars visible across your run.
Go back to your boss.
I still have the Shagohod and the legacy. There is nothing America can do to stop us. I'm not finished yet.
Gears of War Reloaded is a high-fidelity remaster of the original Gears of War, co-developed by the Coalition, Sumo Digital, and Disbelief. It includes all post-launch content from Gears of War Ultimate Edition 2015, such as the bonus campaign act, multiplayer maps, player cosmetics, and classic characters. The remaster runs in 4K resolution at 60 FPS for campaign and supports up to 120 FPS in multiplayer, with added features like HDR, variable refresh rate, VRR, enhanced lighting, improved shadows and reflections, and Dolby Vision, Atmos, and spatial audio support. Multiplayer also receives upgrades: split-screen 2-player campaign co-op, classic versus modes with up to 8 players, and crossplay, which are all part of the definitive experience. The game launches day one on Xbox Game Pass Ultimate and PC Game Pass, continuing Xbox's push for broad availability and player value.
Let's do this. This is gonna be awesome. Form up!
Dying Light: The Beast began its life as a planned story, DLC for Dying Light 2. Stay Human, but grew sufficiently in scope, partly due to a leak, to become a full standalone installment, which will be offered free to owners of the Dying Light 2 Ultimate Edition. Set a full decade after the following, the game brings back Kyle Crane, who has endured years of captivity and experimentation by a villain known as the Baron, leaving him with zombie-human hybrid abilities and a burning hunger for vengeance. The open-world setting shifts away from dense urban ruins to a rural, forested valley called Castor Woods, inspired by regions like the Swiss Alps and Twin Peaks-style mystery, offering diverse biomes and tense parkour traversal across countryside and ruins. Gameplay retains the first-person parkour and survival horror roots of the franchise, but now includes Beast Mode, allowing Crane to unleash savage melee attacks, throw environmental objects, and rip through enemies, balanced with firearms and crafting systems.
For me, all the agony he put me through.
You want revenge?
Damn right I do!
Echoes of the End is a third-person action-adventure developed by Mercure Games and published by Deep Silver, built using Unreal Engine 5 to deliver cinematic visuals and immersive gameplay experiences. The narrative spans 10 handcrafted chapters, blending themes of trust, sacrifice, and redemption as Ryan teams up with Abram Finley, a haunted scholar, to explore the hidden histories of Ama and face mounting dangers from a rising empire. Combat combines fluid swordplay and devastating magical abilities, offering strategic depth and fast-paced encounters against both human foes and monstrous creatures, including towering boss monsters. Traversal is enhanced by a suite of magical abilities, such as double jumping, dashing, gravity manipulation, and illusion casting, enabling creative puzzle solving and environmental interaction, often with Abram participating to open new paths or assist in traversal combat synergy.
Take my hand!
I hear not the clamor of conquerors.
The pestilence must be purged.
Same dream. A horrible dream. Where monsters invade our world. A powerful being falls from the sky.
Lost Soul Aside is a high-octane single-player action-adventure RPG developed by the Shanghai-based studio Ultra Zero Games under Sony's China Hero project, offering fast-paced, combo-heavy combat inspired by titles like Devil May Cry and Final Fantasy XVI. The game follows Caesar's quest to rescue his sister Louisa and avert a dimensional invasion by the Voidrax, known as Aramon, and his forces, while confronting themes of family, sacrifice, rebellion, and redemption. Combat dynamics revolve around weapon swapping during mid-combos, dodge juggling encounters, and intense boss battles that emphasize player reflexes and stylish execution. Exploration interweaves lush, diverse environments such as snow-covered plains, ancient ruins, and alternate dimensions, with puzzles, platforming sequences, and hidden secrets, offering a more place-based journey compared to linear action games.
Let me be your vengeance. The blade in your hand.
Kirby and the Forgotten Land is a 3D action platformer developed by HAL Laboratory and published by Nintendo, released globally on March 25, 2022, exclusively for the Nintendo Switch. It marks Kirby's first fully 3D mainline adventure, setting him in an expansive post-apocalyptic world where nature has reclaimed the ruins of a long-lost civilization. The game begins with Kirby being sucked into a mysterious dimensional rift and awakening in a vibrant yet abandoned realm filled with derelict shopping malls, empty amusement parks, overgrown cities, and industrial wastelands. His mission is to rescue the Waddle Dees, who have been kidnapped by the sinister Beast Pack, a group of animalistic enemies. In addition to his classic copy abilities, where Kirby inhales enemies to gain their powers, this entry introduces a major new mechanic, Mouthful Mode, which allows Kirby to partially swallow and control large objects like a car mouth, vending machine, cone, light bulb, and more, transforming how players solve puzzles and traverse environments.
Keeping managed democracy safe with the lives of our heroes, protecting freedom from tyranny with the gentle touch of an iron fist.
Helldivers 2 is a third-person cooperative shooter game. The game puts you in the boots of elite super-Earth shock troops sent across the galaxy to defend democracy, facing off against hordes of alien races like the Terminids, automatons, and the Illuminate, in procedurally generated missions themed around frantic teamwork and battlefield chaos. Gameplay focuses on coordinating squads of up to 4 players who deploy stratagems, powerful orbital weapons or equipment via precise controller or keyboard input combos, alongside a wide array of customizable primary weapons and team-wide boosters. Friendly fire is always enabled, forcing players to communicate, coordinate drops, and watch each other's backs or suffer hilarious consequences. The game also features a real-time, community-driven galactic war metagame, where strategic liberation of planets and completion of objectives directly influence the ongoing narrative and available campaigns across the player base.
Dispense peace with the ultimate weaponry.
More than a weapon, it is the soul of a shinobi.
Shinobi, Art of Vengeance is a 2D action platformer developed by Lizardcube, best known for Wonder Boy, The Dragon's Trap, and Streets of Rage 4, in collaboration with Saga, and it revives Shinobi with hand-drawn visuals and modern beat-em-up mechanics. Gameplay blends classic ninja action with modern combo-driven combat. Players use light and heavy slashes, dodge, double jump, and juggle enemies before finishing with powerful assassination moves called Shinobi executions once foes are staggered. The game features more than a dozen stages, including settings like Oboro Village, desert outposts, and industrial fortresses, with environmental puzzles, levers, platforming, barrels, alongside combat challenges that encourage exploration. Madden NFL 26 is a football simulation game developed by EA Orlando and published by EA Sports. The game features the most significant overhaul to franchise mode in over a decade, including comprehensive upgrades like custom coach creation, archetype-driven ability systems, strategic playsheets, and broadcast-style halftime shows hosted by NFL personality Scott Hansen. Coach customization is deepened with hundreds of visual options and stylistic archetypes: offensive guru, defensive genius, development wizard, or real-life NFL coach, each impacting progression and in-game bonuses. Graphical and presentation fidelity have been elevated through refined field art, authentic stadium graphics, dynamic crowd animation, upgraded stadium sound effects, and fully licensed broadcast packages tailored to Thursday, Sunday, and Monday night games for enhanced immersion.
Ever dreamed of running your own supermarket?
This County is an indie cozy management sim RPG developed by Crinkle Cut Games and published by PQB. In the game, you take over your aunt's struggling discount supermarket in the quirky seaside town of Blomkest, managing everything from stocking shelves and ringing up customers to organizing aisles and decorating your shop while navigating complex community dynamics as a newcomer. Players can customize their character's appearance, name, and style before diving into the daily routines of store ownership, with time-based gameplay where the shop is open from morning to late afternoon and evenings used to explore town, build relationships, and uncover secrets. The game features a pixel art visual style paired with relaxing, upbeat music that contrasts with the subtle satire of running a discount business in a small town, and rumors indicate deeper hints at an underlying mystery or commentary on capitalism. Black Myth Wukong is a cinematic single-player action RPG developed and published by Game Science. The game is deeply inspired by the classic 16th century Chinese novel Journey to the West, but presents a darker reinterpretation where gods and heavenly authorities are depicted as antagonists, ultimately subverting traditional mythology. In the game, the player assumes the role of the Destined One, a staff-wielding monkey warrior charged with recovering 6 relics corresponding to Sun Wukong's lost senses as part of a journey to revive the true Monkey King and confront celestial forces. The story plays out across 6 chapters, each set in a beautifully realized biome, ranging from Black Wind Mountain and Yellow Wind Ridge to the Flaming Mountains and Mount Wagwo, featuring branching paths, secrets, and environment-focused progression. Sword of the Sea is an atmospheric single-player adventure game developed and published by Giant Squid. In Sword of the Sea, players awaken as the Wraith, a solitary vessel summoned from a desolate necropolis to restore a long-lost ocean buried beneath a vast desert world. The core traversal mechanic involves riding the Hover Sword, a hybrid surfboard/skateboard/snowboard that lets you carve through shifting dunes, perform aerial tricks, and build graceful momentum across rippling terrain. Exploration is key. By activating ocean seeds, you transform arid sand into vibrant emerald waters and summon marine life, which in turn opens new pathways, such as jellyfish that act as jump pads or seaweed to climb, enabling deeper traversal and discovery. The movement is fluid and rhythmic, with subtle cues and landscape design guiding your progression rather than explicit UI or waypoints. SlackJaw, stylized in all caps, is an atmospheric first-person horror game. The game casts you as the sole survivor of the real-life-inspired SlackJaw killer, whose story is reconstructed from a true crime podcast titled In the Jaws of Terror, My Escape from the SlackJaw Killer, using testimony, FBI reports, and crime scene photos to construct a chilling narrative experience. Gameplay unfolds in a single hour-long basement setting, designed like an escape room puzzle you must navigate silently, solve environmental riddles, uncover the killer's secrets, and escape before he descends from the floor above you. Senua's Saga Hellblade 2 is a cinematic, third-person action-adventure game. Set in 10th century Iceland, the story follows Senua, a Pict warrior struggling with psychosis, as she embarks on a journey to liberate her enslaved people from Nordic invaders and face metaphorical and literal giants protruding across the landscape. Combat has been revamped. Battles now emphasize fluid, strategic swordplay, with parry-based dodges that fill a time-slowing focus meter, while encounters are more frequent and varied, with stronger emphasis on cinematic transitions between fights and cutscenes. Exploration features richly detailed Norse-themed environments, interactive rune puzzles, world-shifting mechanics powered by Senua's focus, and collectible lore items such as hidden faces and Lorestan gear posts.
Some doors are sealed for a reason, and I was a fool to pry them open.
Static Dread: The Lighthouse is an atmospheric indie horror sim developed by Solar Suit Games and published by Polden Publishing. The game places you in the role of a lone lighthouse keeper, assigned to manage an ancient beacon on a forsaken island after a global cataclysm, with the fate of passing ships and a nearby town resting in your hands. At first, your responsibilities mirror a low-stress simulation. You interpret faxes, monitor radio calls, and guide vessels to safe harbor. However, as nights progress, requests grow stranger, supplies dwindle, and an unseen cosmic horror begins to intrude upon your routines. The game's central tension emerges from balancing bureaucratic mechanics, like ship scheduling and order forms, with mounting eldritch dread. Choices matter, and following rules can sometimes lead to dire consequences, especially when sailors' testimonies hint at non-human presence. Demon Slayer The Hinokami Chronicles 2 is the official sequel to the Hinokami Chronicles 2021, developed by CyberConnect 2 and published by Saga. Gameplay-wise, it features the fast, flashy combat typical of CyberConnect 2's Ninja Storm style. Abyssus is a cooperative roguelite first-person shooter developed by Double Moose Games and published by the Arcade Crew. Set in a brine punk sci-fi world, players assume the roles of brine hunters, deep-sea explorers, seeking a mysterious precious substance called brine beneath the ruins of a submerged ancient civilization. What begins as an expedition turns into survival combat as corrupted denizens rise to defend their buried realm. The game supports up to 4-player online co-op, encouraging team-based strategy and procedurally sequenced runs composed of 64 handcrafted levels that shift each session, ensuring no 2 runs feel the same. Combat is fast-paced and momentum-driven, evoking comparisons to modern Doom with frenetic shooting and dodge-heavy movement. Players dash, double jump, and chain combos through rooms full of enemies, creating an arcade arena vibe wrapped in roguelite structure. Players can choose from 8 weapons, each customizable with up to 45 different mods that alter behavior, elemental effects, and secondary fire functionalities.
Take it, frogs. Sleep with the fishes.
Please, give me a chance. I won't fail you.
Dungeon Stalkers is a third-person PvEVP dungeon crawler, developed and published by One Universe Company Limited, combining classic dungeon exploration with high-risk extraction mechanics in a shifting, cursed labyrinth. Players take on the role of a stalker, each with a unique narrative background, skill set, and class archetype, venturing solo or in teams of up to 3 into a dungeon ruled by a descending witch's curse, gathering gear, battling monsters, and racing rival players to safely extract with their loot. A standout feature is the Witch's Curse system, which dynamically changes dungeon conditions every 5-minute phase, buffing or debuffing players, spawning powerful monsters, and altering environmental rules, ensuring that no 2 runs are alike. Armor destruction adds a strategic edge. As players take damage, armor visibly degrades and breaks, signaling vulnerability to others and shifting the balance of risk, making stealth or tactical retreats crucial.
On my way. Get in the car. I'm a medic. I need help.
Whisper Mountain Outbreak is an isometric, cooperative PvE survival horror game developed and published by Big Productions. Set in 1998 on Mount Bissek, the story begins when a mining expedition inadvertently breaks an ancient curse, unleashing a fog that brings whispers, monsters, and supernatural horror. You and up to 3 friends are trapped inside and must explore abandoned facilities, solve puzzles, find keys, and ultimately escape the mountain's haunting grip. Gameplay blends escape room puzzle solving with survival horror combat, featuring diverse melee and ranged weapons, fragile inventory slots, craftable items, and limited resources. Morbid Metal is a fast-paced third-person hack-and-slash roguelite developed by Screen Juice and published by Ubisoft. The game features a dynamic shape-shifting system that allows players to seamlessly switch between 3 empowered characters mid-combat, enabling diverse combo chains and strategic flexibility to tackle hordes of enemies. Combat is high-octane and stylistically dense, drawing comparisons to titles like Bayonetta and Devil May Cry in its energy and flair, though some critics noted the attacks feel less weighty than expected, like hitting a knife on a metal plate. The roguelite progression loop includes permanent unlocks, random biome layouts, deal with the devil modifiers that buff or nerf your run, and a world that blends sci-fi architecture with overgrown ruins. Early impressions praise the gameplay's smoothness and choreography, though the 20 to 30-minute demo is short and currently lacks full-scale boss encounters, though submissions hint that those appear later in the full game.